Hello again, welcome to another edition of Indian Ocean Songs. Thanks to everyone checking these videos on YouTube as well as subscribing and also watching them on Instagram. Today we're going to look at music from Singapore and in particular one musician, this gentleman here, Salim. Now he was better known as a pop musician in the 60s and he had a band called the Wisma, but he cut a handful of 45s with the Gambos Wisma, and these were also compiled on an LP as well. Now Gambus is a music that you find in Indonesia, Singapore and Malaysia, and it's actually influenced directly from Yemen. There's a lot of trade between Yemen and what were initially just individual sultanates. I guess this would have been, in the 1700s, maybe earlier than that. So you had communities who were obviously converting to Islam, and they were taking on other aspects of Middle Eastern culture in terms of the music and the poetry and qasida and ghazal. And this naturally influenced the music. So Gambus, even the word is an extrapolation of a Yemeni instrument called Gambus, which was eventually replaced by the oud. And so most of the Gambos bands, orchestras that were recorded in the 50s and 60s onwards would have the oud as the main stringed instrument. And as you'll hear, it's one of those records where I'll play it. Most people think it's from the Middle East because that's exactly how it sounds. But basically what he's doing, he's exploring the sort of cultural roots of that aspect of Singaporean culture with his band, and most of them are instrumental. Oh, you saw the picture of him there wearing this great hat, I must say. I'm kind of jealous of that. On other records he did with the Gambus Wisma, he's actually shown holding an oud as well. So yeah, we're going to have a listen to this. Now there's one more nerdy thing which I must point out. So if you have a look at the typeface, so there's two different pressings of this record. Now I appreciate you may be switching off at this point, but this really matters because first of all, you would get it was like a sort of tripartite industry between Indonesia, Malaysia and Singapore. So you'll often get the same title with different regional pressings, some of them sounding better than others. With this 45, there's two pressings where the bass is much, much heavier on one than the other. And as much as people don't analyse music when they're out, when the bass drops, it makes people dance. It sounds much warmer and it has a much more sort of dynamic presence. So yeah, take a note of the typeface. I think on this is the one you want. On the other pressing, I think the typeface is slightly different, slightly thinner. I appreciate that may not be relevant to all of you, but I think it, well, when you hear it, you can really hear the difference. Anyway, let's have a listen to this now.